Brought to you by Penguin. The Long Game, Inside Sinn Féin by Aoife Moore. Read by Roisin Mcgowan. An Nahar Niva. A Note on Sources. In April 2021, upon signing the contract to write this book, the first person I told was the president of Sinn Féin, Mary Lou MacDonald. We stood alone in the car park of Leinster House. I told her what I wanted to do: write a fair and accurate history of the recent history of the most popular political party on the island without fear or favour. I told MacDonald first because I felt that, as the leader of the party, she should hear about it directly from me. "No better woman," she said when I told her my news. She inquired about my parents, who must be so proud. I asked for her cooperation. I was aware that Sinn Féin tended to view the media as hostile and were sometimes quick to sue. But I had a good working relationship with MacDonald, and I knew that Sinn Féin played favourites when it came to media. I told her that I felt she knew me and knew my background, coming from a working-class nationalist area of Derry and a family touched by British state violence. MacDonald asked if she could tell Michelle and Pierce. I said yes, but I asked her not to write it down in an email until I had a research plan and an interview schedule. She agreed and wished me well. In the early days, I spoke with people in the Sinn Féin press office in Belfast, many of whom I have known for years through my work as a journalist. They wanted a written proposal for the interview requests, specifying who I wished to speak to, what I wanted from them, and what the book was about. The first email was sent on the 20th of May 2021 and resent 3 days later, noting MacDonald's approval. In a follow-up phone call, the press officer said to me, "They want this published before the next election to try and damage us." I had no idea who they were supposed to be, and I said as much to the press officer. I contacted a number of TDs and MPs in the early days, all of whom agreed to an interview. One date was set for a chat in Fermanagh, and the friendly representative offered to make me lunch while I was there. But then this interview was cancelled, as were all of the others. I received a call from one press officer who accused me of misleading the representatives and of previously lying about a former Sinn Féin MP. When I refuted the allegation, he said, "Don't worry, we remember things like that." At the end of the summer of 2021, I approached MacDonald again for an interview in Leinster House. We stood in the sunshine while I pleaded for an answer either way on cooperation. I told her the press office had been difficult and obstructive. She sympathised and said she would get back to me, but she didn't. I decided to email weekly, repeating the request, until I received an email from a Belfast solicitor representing Sinn Féin, Padraig O'Murray, on the 8th of March 2022. Dear Aoife, re my client Sinn Féin. I refer to the above, whom I represent, and your request for a formal interview with Sinn Féin elected representatives and staff in relation to your forthcoming book. I would be obliged if you could confirm those Sinn Féin elected representatives and staff whom you are referring to, and provide a summary of the allegations alleged and/or a copy of the relevant extracts of your book. On receipt of same, I will consult with my client before reverting to you in relation to any right of reply. My client has instructed that any further queries in relation to this matter are forwarded to our office and not directly to Sinn Féin. Politicians who I dealt with on a daily basis refused my requests for interviews. Staff were told to ignore me and refuse interviews. MacDonald, who had often stopped and chatted, ignored me in the corridor, refused to meet my eye. The Sinn Féin politicians and officials who spoke to me for this book did so in secret, without party approval. As I worked, I heard that the party had become nervous about reports that people had been speaking to me. The press officer who told me that the party remember things maligned me to other Sinn Féin members and representatives. The moniker he gave...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?